What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this evening's Late Night Agenda, because it's not really tonight's Late Night Agenda because it's early doors. The reason I'm doing the stream a bit earlier today, folks, is because I will be joining Mark Obridge over on That's Football for a watch along of the Super Cup from 7:30. So I hope you can all come over and join me for that one. As always, nice to see you guys in the chat. I hope that you're all well. Thank you for coming in. Look, we will go through the Jeremy Doku stuff. We'll talk about everything else that you guys want to go through as well. And yeah, look, let's see what we think about it and try and come to a conclusion as we always do. I love Andy there saying bring back Crouchy. If ever there was a man that I'd love to talk to actually and bring back... Actually, on Crouchy, do you remember it took him ages to actually break his goal-scoring duck for us? You know, it seemed to go on an eternity before he actually stuck one into the back of the net. But when he did, you know, fair to say, not the floodgates open, but they started to come more regularly. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, as always, this stream is being brought to you with thanks to our sponsors, Manscaped. You can get yourselves over to manscaped.com right now for the all-new Performance Package 4.0. It has arrived. It is available in Europe. Inside the 4.0 package, you will receive the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker, which is the ear and nose hair trimmer. You'll get your Crop Preserver ball deodorant. You'll also get your Crop Reviver toner, the Performance Boxer briefs. It all comes inside a lovely little bag that they call the Shed, and it comes lovely boxed up and ready to go as well. If you use our code WFM20, that'll get you 20% off absolutely anything at manscaped.com. And the all-new Lawnmower 4.0 comes with a 7,000 RPM motor, a multifunction on and off switch, and even a 4000K LED light, just for when you're working in those dark areas and you need a little bit more light to see what you're doing. Again, use our code WFM20 for 20% off anything, even if it's on sale, over at manscaped.com. Right, where do we want to start tonight? How old are you, Craig? 39, Avanish, 39. About to turn the big, horrible, dirty 4-0, even though I will refuse to acknowledge it. Seems like my wife and my daughter are out in the kitchen having a competition to see how many pots they can bang together at once. What have we got? DiMarzio are claiming we're close to agreeing an 8 million bid for Shaqiri to Lyon. Right, so let's start about the Shaqiri stuff to Lyon. Yes, it does look like it. Multiple outlets are saying it. It's looking like a fee somewhere between 7 and 9 million euro for Shaqiri to Lyon. It does seem rather cheap on the face of it, but look, if we look at it this way, he's got 1 year left on his Liverpool contract, and we know that when players have 1 year left, that the numbers aren't usually the same that you receive for the player. So although I'm sure we would have loved to ideally recoup the 12.5 or the 13 million that we paid Stoke with that relegation clause he had in his contract, at this point, I've got to be honest, squad places, particularly overseas squad places, are extremely valuable right now. So, you know, 17 is the number minimum that you can, or the maximum, you can have. So moving Shaqiri on will help. Moving Origi on would help. But look, yes, if we do get Shaqiri and that move is tied up to Lyon, that'll certainly help us. And that leads in, I suppose, to what other people in the chat are saying around Jurgen Klopp. And I'll give you the exact wording and what Kloppo had to say now. 1 second. I don't like to misquote the gaffer. I always get nervous about it, which is why I make sure that I only read out the exact words of what the gaffer has said. So, as always, I have 50,000 million things on my phone. Right, so Jurgen Klopp was speaking and he said, this was to TV2, you have to make changes, but then there must be room to do it. We don't want more players. If something happens somewhere, something can happen somewhere else, but it makes no sense to add more players. So he's basically reiterating what Jurgen Klopp has always said, in that, you know, he likes to work with a specific group, a relatively small squad number, you know, compared to, look, everybody's the same squad number, but he doesn't want players who are training every day, sitting around, not going to be making the match day squads, taking a wage, wasting their own time and not getting to play football. He likes to have a group of players who he believes, if the time comes to call on any one of them, that they're there and ready to do a job. So I think he's trying to be fair to the players that are already at the club, and then just being really obvious about saying that we need to free up a space before we can bring anybody else in. Craig, thoughts on what Romano said, Klopp said? See, these are the type of situations where if you want me to comment on something, buddy, I need to know what he said and the context. I don't automatically know off the top of my head what every journalist in Europe has said. Like, I don't memorise it all. So, yeah, happy to comment on anything you want me to talk about, buddy, but I need to know what the context was. Craig, what's your thoughts on Nat Phillips, that he will be gone before the window closes? Brighton, I think maybe West Ham, and certainly Burnley had been looking at Nat Phillips. Liverpool want somewhere between 10 and 12 million pound for him. I think we'll get it as well, because he has proved that he belongs at Premier League level. Did a good job for us towards the end of last season. Doesn't necessarily have the attributes that I think would full time make it work for him at Liverpool. He doesn't have the pace, the recovery pace really needed for the high line that we play, but certainly a player who belongs to play in the Premier League, and let's see what happens on that one. Romano said us and Barcelona are interested in Sanchez and he'd be about 40 million euro. That's what Crosby had to say. Well, look, this baffles me, right? So you're saying to me, have you heard what Fabrizio said? This is what winds me up a little bit at times. What have I been telling everybody for at least 3 or 4 weeks now? Go back and watch again. I mean, someday I may get some of the credit for some of the stuff I say from any of the media, but I told you that very thing weeks ago. I told you that Barcelona are interested and that he might be hanging around. I told you that there could be a reason why Liverpool haven't made a formal bid for Renato Sanchez yet. None of this is news to me because I've known about it for a really long time. And I've told you guys about it for a really long time. So, this is why I say to people, feel free to bow down at the altar of Fabrizio Romano, but I'm fairly clued up on a lot of this stuff. And how many times this summer has what I've told you people come to fruition? So this is why I say I don't give a shit what Fabrizio Romano has to say or what other journalists have to say, because I like to think that I'm fairly well clued up on this stuff. And the Renato Sanchez situation, it's no big shocker. The situation is, if Barcelona can find 40 million quid, they're already at a situation where their turnover to wages spend without Messi now is at 95%. La Liga need that to be at 70%, so they still need to get rid of the likes of Griezmann, Coutinho and some other top earners. Now, bear in mind that they haven't even been able to register Memphis Depay and Sergio Aguero yet. Now, I do know that Depay has played in a friendly for them, but that doesn't matter. Anybody can play in a friendly. I could show up and play in a friendly. They won't be able to play in any La Liga registered or UEFA registered games without having that clearance. So until Barca clear more wages off the books, they can't even register the players that they have, let alone dream about or look at the likes of Renato Sanchez. So again, there you go. But told you that weeks ago. Can't believe we all went from signing Mbappe to signing nobody. You can fuck off anyway, mate. That's too much negativity for this hour of the morning. So you go into timeout for being a miserable bastard. We are going to sign somebody. This is what annoys me. The window closed? Like 99% of our chat are reasonable, lovely folks, but there's always one or two that come in and bitch and moan. The window isn't closed yet. I actually went through last night because I was getting ready to do my Premier League predictions video, which I'll be recording tonight. I'll be doing the top 9, the bottom 3, top goal scorer, player of the season, young player of the season, and a few other bits and pieces. So I was going through really late last night and doing all my research on all the players and the purchases that have been made by other clubs. And, outside of United signing Varane and Sancho, Manchester City signing Jack Grealish, as of this moment in time, bearing in mind that Lukaku isn't technically signed yet and Koundé isn't technically signed yet, we haven't actually seen that much business done by our rivals. So relax. The window's open till August the 31st. If by 11 p.m. on August the 31st we haven't strengthened, we haven't gotten the business done, then we'll all come on and we'll have a big bitch and moan together. But either way, even if we don't do any signings, I will be angry. Of course I will. Like you guys, I want 1 or 2 in. But I'd still back this group of players to finish top 4 and be challenging in Europe, even as it sits right now. So yeah, I do think we'll get 1 or 2 in. But let's move on to Jeremy Doku, because that's the real latest one that's doing the rounds today. Actually, there's a little bit of good news on Van Dijk. James Pearce said today Van Dijk could potentially start against Norwich. You could make an argument that even if Van Dijk is running at 70 to 80%, that still makes him head and shoulders above most centre backs, and that was via James Pearce at The Athletic. So I would have been surprised if you said this to me a week or two ago, but if you look at the progression of Van Dijk's pre-season, so he's gone from 20 minutes to 42 minutes, then to 70 minutes. Now, who's to say with a bit of recovery and then some more training, maybe the manager might think he could get 70, 75 out of him, and then you bring him off with a few minutes to go, because, James Pearce makes a very good point there. Virgil van Dijk is Virgil van Dijk. Now look, let's get on to the Jeremy Doku stuff before I jump over to the chat for some bits and pieces. Now, how do I say this? I'm using this specific Twitter account because of the person that they're quoting. So, Anfield Talk, who I don't have an opinion on one way or the other, I'll leave that to you. But the reason that I'm mentioning the particular person that they spoke to is because he's got stuff right before. So, this is according to Sasha Tavaleri, and they said, we've spoken to Sasha and he believes Liverpool will accelerate their interest and now signed him this summer over the next few weeks. No bid as of today. It does depend on us selling current attackers, and Ron will want €50 million for us to go out there and to sign Jeremy Doku. So that is the news on Jeremy Doku. This gentleman that they mentioned in the article has previously got Lukaku to Chelsea right weeks ahead of anybody else. That's the only reason I'm bringing it to you, is because the person in question has got a bit of form on it. So let's wait and see what happens. I still genuinely don't know if Doku was going to be the one that we go after, but I would suggest that as soon as Shaqiri makes his Anfield exit, we will see an addition being sought very quickly. I think we'll go after somebody quite quickly and we'll move quite quickly. Mitchell Costello, how are you, buddy? Said, hey Craig, I've got a great feeling about this season. Cheers, mate. Thoughts on Neves? I'd like to sign him. Pep knows him from Porto. I don't think we need Ruben Neves. In fact, if I was to think of a club that could probably do with him, I would say United would probably be a more suitable destination for Ruben Neves. Always been a very talented footballer, as you said, very tidy, knows the stuff, and as you also pointed out, Pep Lijnders spent 6 or 7 years working with him at Sporting Lisbon, or Porto, when he was bringing him through the youth system there at Porto. I think he even went on to captain Porto at 18 years of age now, so good player, but not one that I see in our future. I think in the 6, if you look at it technically, you could play Fabinho there, Hendo at a pinch, Thiago could do it, and even Jimmy Milner at a pinch could play the 6. So I think it's more on the front foot that we need additions rather than either a defensive midfield or a water carrier box to box type. Craig, what are your thoughts on Liverpool renting a building in Liverpool like Paris and the Tower? Are you talking about St George's Hall? Well, that's supposed to be tomorrow, is it not? Now, I haven't got a clue. I've mentioned this to many people who live in the city of Liverpool as well, and I can only think of a couple of things. One, it's for a kit launch, for the third kit. That's option one that I can think of. Two, and again, this is very, very long shot, maybe they want to... See, there's two reasons... There could be a parade or a celebration of the year we won the trophy, or it could be something to mark the unfortunate 97th death after Hillsborough, which of course will be an extremely sad occasion. But what I don't get, whether it be the parade or whatever it might be, is why the hush hush? Because if you're going to do a kit launch and you're going to want people to be there for it, then you're not going to keep it a secret, are you? You're going to say, kit reveal taking place tomorrow or in 2 days' time at this location, blah de blah. So I'm as baffled as anybody else as to what it could be. Yeah, we knew about the Messi Eiffel Tower type thing, but genuinely, mate, I have not got a clue what the St George's Hall thing is. Maybe some other people have more insight on it, but I definitely don't have a clue. Is Doku a long-term replacement for Mane or Salah? He could be. I mean, Herman, it depends, I suppose, what happens over the next year. So let's say we bring Jeremy Doku in, he does really well, or let's say even does well in the second half of the season and shows enough promise, depending on who's renewed their contract between now and the end of the season, might give us an indication of who could move on. Because look, let's be honest about it, we will need to evolve our attacking trio of, Salah, Mane, Firmino. Jota's obviously in and won't be going anywhere because he's relatively young and still got a long time on his contract. But when you look at the Mane, Salah, Firmino situation, as we currently see, all three are inside the final 2 years of their contracts now. So I think the big hint might come with which one doesn't get the contract renewal. I think that will be the one that we might see get sold next summer with 1 year remaining on their deal. It will be probably the common sense thing to do. If we got Doku and Sanchez, is it a good window? WFM said Donald Bellers Kimball. I would say it's the window a lot of us would have expected, to be honest with you, Donald. I suppose whether it's a good window or not, the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, as I like to say. And I would consider it a window that I would say we addressed the positions where I think we needed to address, and no signings can come in and guarantee you absolute success, or at least very few of them. So whether it be Renato Sanchez and Jeremy Doku, whether it be Yves Bissouma and Doku, or whoever it might be, if we do the two you're talking about, I think most people will say we did what we were supposed to do in this window. Canada came in to address the centre-back situation, even though, as I keep saying, to me that was playing catch-up from previous times. And we will have brought in a midfielder and we would have brought in an attacking wide player. So to me, that would definitely be job done. 1 second. Just have to reply to a quick WhatsApp. Phone's very busy and you always have to look at them during transfer windows. Yep, no, it wasn't a transfer related thing, but still had to answer it. We absolutely do need more signings this season, said 8 France. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you, buddy. I don't think anybody in the chat will disagree with you either. I think we all agree that we would love a couple of signings in this window. But as Klopp said, you do have to be fair to the people as well, because these are human beings with families and lives. And like, let's say, for instance, we brought in a couple of signings now and we didn't move on Shaqiri or Origi. And Klopp said, well, you know what, lads, we're not even going to register you in our Premier League squad because these two new guys that we've brought in are going to take up those squad places. Sorry, you've missed out. You're going to be training with the underage players for the rest of the season, or playing with the 23s or whatever. It would be extremely unfair from a personal level to those guys as well. So I think it is a bit tricky because we are a little bit reliant on freeing up overseas squad places, but I also do think we'll get it done. And as I keep saying, as of now, there are still 20 days of the transfer window to go and 3 hours and 26 minutes. So plenty of time to get stuff done. I would imagine, knowing the way we go about stuff, that we have things lined up. So when one thing falls into place, I think everything else will fall in quickly. If we move 2 players on, I think we'll get 2 in quickly. If we move Shaqiri on, I think we'll get 1 in quickly. So I wouldn't worry about it. I know it's getting frustrating and it's getting stressful. It is. I get it. I understand it. But we can only really judge the transfer window when the transfer window closes. Yes, we want players in at the start of it. That's the ideal scenario. But we're going to have to wait and see. And no matter what happens, no matter what, and look, I'm not an FSG in or an FSG out. And on that, I recorded late last night with Alex Goldberg, who's a Chelsea fan, who lives in America, very prominent and well-known Chelsea fan. But he's also a very, very long-term Boston Red Sox fan who gave a great insight into FSG ownership over in Boston Red Sox. So look out for that video. It's going to be coming out tomorrow on Anfield Agenda. And it was a great interview with Alex. We looked ahead to the season. We spoke about we spoke about FSG. We spoke about Chelsea. We spoke about what to expect. So yeah, really, really good insight from Alex there on FSG. Some stuff that I genuinely didn't know about. So, don't miss that interview tomorrow. It'll be coming out, I'm not sure what time, but make sure your notifications are on. Akash said everybody, or Askash, excuse me, everybody is going crazy about opponent signings, but experience matters a great deal in the Premier League. If all of our front three performs at even 85% of their best, we'll still compete for the top. To put it this way, folks, as of right now, the bookies have Liverpool most of the bookies have Liverpool as second favourites behind City for the Premier League. And that's with just signing Canade, because of having Van Dijk back. That makes such a difference. So I would agree with my friend there, Akash. It's, continuity can't be underplayed. The fact that these guys know each other can't be underplayed. The fact that we've got the likes of young Elliott coming in, the fact that we've seen a whole different Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain than we've seen last season and pre-season, and yes, it is only pre-season. There are many reasons to be optimistic, but that still doesn't underline the fact that we can strengthen our squad, or underline the fact that we should be strengthening our squad, or undermine. Yeah, we'll get to undermine eventually. Fourth time I got the word out. Hoping the reservation is a Mo contract extension. Yeah, that would be good enough for me, Mitchell, if that was the case, buddy. Yeah, definitely. If it was a Mo contract extension, yeah, I'd be happy enough for that to be worth celebrating. Absolutely. Sorry, just need a sip of the coffee. Lukaku's gone to Chelsea, has just been confirmed. It was always going to be. I mean, once we knew it was happening, we knew it was going to be 97, 98 million quid, and we knew it was happening. So, yeah, good signing for Chelsea, by the way. Is the chair behind you real? Yes, it is real, mate. It comes from a company called Serendipity Furniture. What else is coming up? Don't forget, I will be over on That's Football tonight, ladies and gentlemen, from 7:30 with Mark Goldbridge for a watch along of the Super Cup. Hope you can come along and join us for that one. I'm also going to be recording my season preview video tonight, which will be coming out tomorrow. So I'll be doing the top 9, the bottom 3, top scorer, player of the year, young player of the year, and a few other bits and pieces as well that I've scribbled down and I can't remember. So keep an eye out for that later on. But I still have about 10 minutes or so left, so get your questions in. Do I know why Saul has gone so quiet? I believe it's because of wages, from what I've read. It looks like, and it often is the case, by the way, when people move from other European leagues to the Premier League, we often talk about the riches of the Premier League and the money there. Well, a lot of the time people see a move to the Premier League as a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So a good example of this, looking back a while ago, would have been Leon Goretzka when he signed for Bayern Munich. He was looking for, I think, 350, 400 grand a week apparently to come over to England and play. So from what I've seen, it could be something to do with wages, but then again, it could just be that no club have actually come in with a concrete offer for Saul Niguez, and maybe that's where Michael Edwards or other clubs are waiting to see how desperate Atleti get to perhaps offload him, having brought in Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese. Delwyn, how are we, buddy? Said Shaqiri to Leon around 8 million. Not a great fee, but the clubs are skint. He wants to leave and frees up a non-homegrown slot. It's decent business. Yeah, and also again, Delwyn, just to add to what you said there, buddy, it is he is in the last year of his deal. His contract runs out in 2022, so we've got to take into account now that he's got 11 months remaining on his Liverpool contract technically. So it is one of those situations where a lot of power in that scenario is with the player, and if we bring in 8 million, it might be 4 million less than we'd hope, but it does free up a very, very, very valuable squad place, and also does take some wages off the books as well. I'm a massive fan. What is your dream signing? I don't know if you mean massive fan of Liverpool or of me. If you're a massive fan of me, you're not. You're a mate. I keep saying that. I'm nothing to be. I don't have fans, mate. I'm a nobody. I'm just a regular Joe Soap like everybody else. Everyone in this chat I deem as mates. But thank you for the kindness. What would be my dream signing? Mbappe, Jude Bellingham. Either of those two. Nicolo Barella would be another one I'd love. Pedri would be one I'd love. Now, you've said dream signings here, mate, so of course you could throw Haaland in there, but most of those, bar maybe Bellingham, I would think are pretty unrealistic. But thank you again, Snowden, very kind of you. Craig, how do you think Crystal Palace will do this year? Badly. Badly. I was looking through, as I said last night when I was doing my predictions video, I was going through all the business that all the clubs had done, and I genuinely do think, you know, even Patrick Vieira will come in there. They might get a bit of a new manager bounce and all, but I don't think that their squad is that strong. I don't have them in my bottom three, but I think a bottom half finish is very likely for Crystal Palace. I don't see anything, maybe somewhere 12 to 15, something like that in the league. But yeah, for me, they were just above my relegation spots when I was doing out my predictions. Rate your overall window if we get Doku and Renato Sanchez. Or rate our overall window, said Rocky, if you get Renato and Doku. Or Doku and Renato Sanchez. 8? I'd say it's a solid 8, because we knew what the positions were that we were looking to strengthen. Now look, we can always say as fans we wanted Mbappe, we wanted Lautaro Martinez, but look, if we're being realistic, knowing the owners we have and the type of numbers we're probably working with, the age profile of players, I would say that's a solid 8. A solid 8 of a window for me if you bring those two players in. I mean, if we end on the August 31st with those two signed, and we haven't lost any of our, you know, Mo, Sadio, Bobby, Jota, Van Dijk, the spine of the team, I'm saying that's a solid 8. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's the perfect window that we were told could happen, if you get where I'm coming from. So I'd give it a solid 8, to be honest with you, if that was the case. Ella, is it your birthday? Happy birthday. Oh, that's class. Where's my friend Ella gone? Where's Ella Nishuna? Where are you? I know you must be in the chat somewhere if someone said happy birthday. Where's Ella? Ella, where are you? Anyway, happy birthday. I can't find the comment. Happy birthday, Ella. Connor and I had the pleasure of getting to meet Ella at Dublin Airport, where she works, and it was a pleasure. Lovely person, and big GAA fan as well. So happy birthday, Ella. Connor tagged the wrong account, but yeah, happy birthday, Ella, if it is your birthday anyway. Do you feel like we can win the league? All my mates are saying we'll be finishing 4th or behind Leicester. Look, your mates are idiots, mate, without wanting to be rough on your mates, whom I don't know, but if they think we're finishing 4th behind Leicester, your mates know fuck all about football, mate. We are finishing 2nd or 3rd in my eyes, and we ain't finishing behind Leicester City. So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, I'm sure they're your mates, and you know, I wish them well and all, but they're either winding you up or they don't know anything about football, mate. One or the other. It was Elliot Watson's birthday. Elliot, under my umbrella, Elliot. Happy birthday, Elliot, mate. And sorry, Connor shit the bed, but happy birthday, Elliot Watson, man. Hope you had a nice day so far, and hope it continues to be a good day. But yeah, apologies, mate. Connor poo-pooed the bed on that one, but a very sincere happy birthday from all of us, mate. I prefer Kessie. Frank Kessie wants to stay at AC Milan, mate. He's made it very, very, very clear that he wants to agree a deal, as he is in his last year, to stay at the club. He believes it's his club. He loves it there, loves life at AC Milan. They've just got back into the Champions League, and he's been on record lots of times as saying that he wants to stay there. So yeah, he won't be coming to Liverpool. This is an early stream, Craig. No, yes, because I'm doing the Super Cup at 7:30 with Mark Olbridge. We're doing a co-watch along, a joint co-hosting watch along over on That's Football from 7:30. So make sure to get yourselves over there to that one. And don't forget, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet hit the subscribe button on here, please do. As you can see, we've passed 114,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Got some great stuff coming up on Craig Station. We're going to be recording and putting out next week as well. Connor has asked you guys on Instagram for your unpopular opinions or your questions about me, non-football related. So get over to the Anfield Agenda Instagram account and that will be on there. And if you've anything you want to put to me or anything you want to ask, Connor's going to be asking me the questions and we're going to be recording a video about that next week. And a few other bits and pieces I'm working on as well for Craig Station, which used to be Mundo Sport though, but it's now been rebranded because it's going to be a lot of non-sports content and just me having fun and taking the piss. Yeah, you're going to have to try harder than that pro club goals, mate. Sorry, but, you know, I get baited sometimes, but sometimes I can see through a fella. Was late to the stream. Can you tell us a quick roundup of what's been said? Absolutely no problemo. 1 second. Sorry, just got to go through all my notes here. I've got about 50 WhatsApp messages. Right, so here's where we are so far. Jurgen Klopp has spoken about the possibility of more incomings, speaking to TV2 or TV2, if it was French, I'm not sure. You have to make changes, but then there must be room to do it. We don't want more players. If something happens somewhere, something can happen somewhere else, but it makes no sense to add more players. Now, when he says there we don't want more players, he doesn't mean we don't want more signings. He means we don't want more players with regards to the overall number of the squad. So I think the business will happen. Shaqiri to Lyon looks like it's getting closer for about 8 million quid. He has 1 year left on his contract. Lyon very interested. I think that deal gets done. And then we spoke about James Pearce saying that Van Dijk is 70 to 80% at full fitness and could well start at the weekend. And then finally we spoke about something that the Anfield Talk had up regarding a previous chat that they had, and a newer chat with Sasha Tavaleri, who I believe was one of the first people to break the Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea story. And he went on to say that Liverpool are accelerating their interest in Jeremy Doku this summer. No bid as of today. It depends on us selling current players, and it will take €50 million for Rons to sell them. They actually say current attackers, it will take around €50 million for Ron to sell them. So nothing overly new there, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much as we expected. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to have to leg it because I've got to go get set up for the watch along over on That's Football with Mr. Goldbridge. I will chat to you guys tomorrow. I will be live. What day is tomorrow? Thursday. Let me just look at the calendar. I'm fairly sure I am doing normal stuff tomorrow. 1 second. What day of the week? Late night agenda, 8:45 tomorrow night, as always, ladies and gents. Hope to see you there. Again, thank you to our sponsors, Manscaped. Get yourselves over to manscaped.com. Use our code WFM20 to get yourself 20% off anything. But the big selling product, the big talking point over there is, of course, the Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped, which features the all-new Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver, which is a ball deodorant, because your balls do need deodorizing, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of your goodies in as well. Air code WFM20 gets you 20% off anything over at manscaped.com. Lots of love to you guys. Have a lovely evening, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.